And there we are officially live.
Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Romford Raiders versus Milton Keynes Lightning pre-show. I am Josh Pavitt, I'm joined by Brodie Martin and Harrison Mills. Got it right this time. And they will be your commentators for this afternoon's fixture. How are we doing, boys?
Good. It should be a decent game. Entertaining last night, for them lot at least.
Yeah.
It should be a good game, hopefully.
Well, here's for hoping. I mean, yesterday was... it won't live in the memories of the Raiders faithful for very long. Quite a disappointing outing, to say the very least. Ended up walking away from that 10-0 defeat.
Yeah.
I mean, we always knew MK were a hard game, but is that more? Do you think that's more credit to how MK played or how we didn't turn up?
How MK played, to be honest with you, because I think watching them yesterday, first time watching them this pre-season, it was just incredible to watch. Yeah. I mean, what they were doing, it was left, right, and centre every goal. I mean, it was just everywhere. I mean, back-to-back goals all the time. I mean, credit to them because they've come up with a good squad during the off-season, and I think it shows on the ice, definitely.
Harrison, obviously you're here representing Milton Keynes. Milton Keynes fan, it must have been a good day for you yesterday.
Oh, it was great. I mean, I was on commentary yesterday as well, and it was an interesting one to call because you look at the squad rosters and you were missing the likes of Miller and Sylvester, who massive players last season, and they're going to be big players again if they turn up. And again, they're missing tonight as well, so it's going to be a difficult one tonight. But yesterday, as I said, it was a game that I think there was no stoppage before the first goal. The first goal was the first stoppage of the game, and at that point onwards, it's like everything just started to click. And
yeah.
I think it's pre-season for everyone, and I think I said to you before we started that if there's any game to lose like that, it's pre-season.
It's got to be. But as your co-commentary colleague said, I can't remember his name, I don't want to...
Mike, yeah.
As he sort of said, there's no such thing as a friendly in pre-season when it comes to ice hockey. That's for other sports. You want to go out and you want to set the tone straight away, and I think that's what MK did. I think it was 0-0 up until like the 16th, or until there was 16 minutes left in the period, and then within I think 40 seconds, MK found themselves 3-0 up.
Yeah, I've got the times. It was 3:19, 4:07, 4:19. So 3 goals in the space of a minute. And at that point, it just sets the tone of the game. And you've got Lightning there not having to put as much effort into the game, maybe just conserving energy, trying things, which is exactly what you need to do. If you're going to try things, this is the time to try it. And getting a healthy lead in order to try things, best thing they could have done. Yeah,
of course, today you are without Jordan Spatterford. Jordan Spatterford is not icing, and you're icing Will Curlin as opposed to Headley. Romford Raiders are still without Sean Miller. We don't have Jake Sylvester, although Harvey Briggs is on the team sheet. Brodie, for you, is that going to be a massive change to the team?
Obviously, attacking-wise, yes, because he's a forward. But he gets stuck in. There's occasions where he has got stuck in last season, and we saw, I think, a better side of Harvey last season compared to previous times that we've seen him. So hopefully, I could say yes, he's going to be the one to change the match, but we don't know yet. These are the stats from last night. Just safe to say that, well, they basically thrashed us.
Yeah, I mean, there's the stats. You can look at the stats yourselves. MK absolutely peppered us. 43 shots to our 14, 4 power plays to our 2, 4 penalty minutes to our 8. Obviously, Lewis picking up 2 penalties back to back, which didn't really help, I think. And 2 power play goals for MK as well.
Yeah, and that's something that we were really weak on last season as well. And that was one of the big criticisms going into that middle patch of the season where we're still fighting with leads. And it was that power play and those special teams that we were really struggling on. And you've got to look at the fact in pre-season, I think that's now 3 or 4 power play goals now. So there's a big change in that forward line, missing the likes of Ross Venus and Max Stewart, who are no longer at Lightning. But we've also gained players. You've got Dominic Gabai coming in from Bees. You've got Elliot Lewis coming in from Bristol. It's just adding a lot of different areas of expertise, and it's just it's a different side. And I think we've definitely seen that the first week of pre-season coming up against Coventry and Tilburg wasn't the easiest. But
yeah, we were speaking about the Tilburg fixture earlier on before we come up. They made you look like amateurs.
Oh, for sure. And I think it didn't help playing Coventry the night before as well.
Yeah, well, obviously that plays a massive factor.
You go into that and you're after 2 periods against Coventry, you're level, and then you just lose it towards the end. And then once again, 1-1 after the first, or 1-0 to Tilburg after the first, 3-1 after the second, and you think, okay, this isn't as bad. But then 6 unanswered goals in the third. Again, the legs just went, I think. And that's what I think Lightning did very well yesterday, just to conserve the energy and get themselves ahead early on. And I think that's something that Lightning have done for the past few seasons as well. It's try and start fast and conserve that energy, especially in the first of a double header.
Yeah. I mean, we touched on Spadafore not icing tonight. However, you have got Forsberg icing tonight.
Yes.
Which is going to be a big change, I think, going forward. You're going to be very much pressing quite a lot, because Forsberg, I've noticed, seems to press a hell of a lot. Very much like Spadafore does, but I think Forsberg just adds that extra element to it.
Yeah.
You're going to be very dangerous going forward. Looking at the team that you've got lined up today, is there anything that you're slightly worried about that maybe if Raiders can pick up and they can take advantage of, the result could go the other way?
It's going to be one of those things that they've got a...
Get closer, you're behind the graphic there, mate.
The lineups are very similar to last night, so it's not much that's changed. Obviously, there's no Spadafore, as you said, but Forsberg's come in just as basically a straight swap. The two Osborne twins are now back. They're familiar to Raiders, played for the Buccaneers for a couple times a few seasons ago, and Conroy misses out as he's playing with the Thunder. But other than that, it's a very similar lineup. I think it's that the third and fourth line actually picked up 7 points last night. So the strength and depth, it's very hard to pick apart a side where Lightning are going to struggle. But there were a couple times last night, and I don't know if you guys noticed it on the stream, a bit sloppy at the back. There were some just loose passes and that weren't coming together. And I think TJ Anderson and Ewan Hill had open nets a couple times that on another day they would have scored both of them. So it's those plays at the back and trying to play a little bit too much in the defensive zone, really, that I think is going to be our weakest point, because if you look at the namesake, I don't think there's a weak part on the squad sheet.
Yeah. Obviously, I strategically touched on the MK game first because I like to end on a good note. Brody, let's talk about Friday night. We played Neuilly-Sur-Marne, the team that played Peterborough last night and took Peterborough to a shootout. Now we ended up walking out of that game 5-2 victors. The game did look quite tasty. I was watching from home, and I said in the group chat, it looks like something's about to go down, but luckily for us, nothing actually did. How do you compare our performance of Friday night to what happened yesterday?
There's a big difference. We turned up on Friday. I don't know if we turned up yesterday, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, we're playing different opponents. Do you know what I mean? That's another thing you have to remember, is that when you're looking at playing a team that, in effect, were a Bucks level in France, do you know what I mean? Well, compared to playing champions, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From last season. Obviously, we hoped that they were going to turn up for both. Turned up for Friday, 100%.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I mean, you could put the blame on anything. Do you know what I mean? There could be as many things you could put a blame on. At the end of the day, we didn't perform, and that's the simple truth. So I think we just need to keep our heads together today. Try and work together. I think at the front, definitely our forwards yesterday, there was a lot
We didn't do a lot going forward yesterday at all.
There was not a lot going forward, and then when there was things going forward, there wasn't any order on the ice.
It sort of seemed to me when I was watching it, it seemed as if we'd get past the blue line and then we just wouldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something today we need to change. We need to be a lot more critical in the face of goal.
Yeah.
I mean, getting a shutout at the best of times isn't ideal.
Yeah.
Losing 10-0 to an MK team who, let's face it, last season you might have the statistics to hand. We played MK 10 times last season. Out of those 10 times, how many games did we win?
I think it was only, the cup ones were the 2 league ones. Other than that, I think it was 1 overtime, and the rest were overtime.
And not a lot when you think about it. Not a lot within the Raiders squad has changed, apart from there's no Shufelt now, no Ethan James. Instead we've got Cole Cece, and we've got Jared Baker. Jacob Baker.
Yeah, well, Reed Morrison's not here either. And when I was looking at the last time we played you, which I believe was in playoffs.
Oh, no, Reed Morrison,
Yeah, we
Morrison was your best player.
Yeah, Morrison was our best player then. We had Sean Miller scoring 2. I think TJ scored 2 as well, and then Harvey scored our last one to make it 5.
Yeah.
But then Gulliver scored a hat-trick for them scoring your first goal and your last 2 goals when they won 7-5. So, I mean, I think also another player you need to watch out for today is Harry Gulliver.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he was phenomenal yesterday.
Whenever he seems to play against us, he always seems to really turn up. Whether he wants to do, whether it's just because we used to play for us, I don't know. I don't know why.
I think it is one of those things.
It is one of those things.
I don't know who it was that touched it. I think you touched on it. when you're playing against a former squad or former team, you always seem to get a bee in your bonnet. Leisham yesterday seemed really frustrated that nothing was working. Harry Gulliver, on the other hand, former Raider, now plays for MK, won the title with MK last season, or won playoffs with MK last season, should I say?
Yeah.
He looked up for it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping today the roles are reversed a little bit. I'm not expecting an absolute whitewash, but I'm expecting this Raiders team to turn up on home ice. You got a home crowd, and you got the home team advantage. People say that home team advantage don't exist. It
does.
It sure as hell does.
Yeah.
Especially in a ring like this as well. You've got to think this is a fortress. If you can make this place a fortress, then it's a difficult place to come. And the noise that the Raiders fans make as well, especially you look at when a timeout happens, the away bench isn't going to hear a single thing. And that's the sort of atmosphere that if you can create, and you can create a rink where you're like, oh, I don't like the look of that fixture. If you look at your thing and go, right, we've got Romford away, oh God. That's what you want teams to look at, and you want teams to be worried to come here, and I think that's going to be the toughest thing going into this season, missing the players like your Schufelt. He's a big miss.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, coaches have to do their work, players have to do their work, the fans have to do their job as well.
Yeah, of course.
And if they're able to create a noise that, do you know what I mean, puts the other team off, that's when things don't. That's when things don't go well.
Apologies about the technical issues. We need, for some reason, we still don't know how to make sure our camera doesn't turn off when it's not being used.
We still don't understand. No, but
some things don't change.
The fans have such an important job.
Yeah.
Listening to their fans yesterday, you could hear it even through the stream. Even them, yours was slightly turned down. I mean,
through the door. I think you mentioned the first game we had 700. Well, no, we had 700 compared to what?
Against Tilburg we had 1900 or something, and then yesterday I think it was 1800.
Levels. It's just levels.
And the problem is, yes, it was included in the season ticket as well, so that would play a part. But you've also got to just look at over the years, it has grown. So when I first started coming back after COVID, we were. The security were worried about 1,600 coming through the door. Like, God, it's a big game. There's 1,600. Now, if we get 1,600, it's probably a midweek game. It's one of those that the fans are the reason that the Thunderdome's a fortress. You don't make it a fortress if you don't make the noise, and you don't make it a difficult place to play. And I think that's one of the things that this is quite a very steep rink, so the noise stays. So if you make the noise, you're going to cause problems. And you saw it last season when you played us a lot. And the amount of times that I think Lightning, it's fair to say, were probably dominant on most times here, but it never made it look dominant with a scoreline. You've got how many overtime victories and how many shootout wins? Because we were being clawed back, and because the atmosphere was tough to handle. And I think everyone has said it over the last few seasons, the away form has been the reason the Lightning haven't taken a home the league title. If they fix that, what's going to stop them? And I think that is where a place like Romford, where they've struggled over the years, it's safe to say, if you can come here every time and get a win, then you're on track for a good season. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that sums up talking about the games. Brody, we've got some changes to talk about within the club, haven't we? Like, we've got away pit sin bin sponsors, for example. A lot's changed over the course of the off-season in terms of there's been some movement with players and stuff, but I think one of the biggest things is the sponsorships that have come into play. We've now got sin bin sponsors in JFF Security and Team Daniel, who will be the sponsors throughout the duration of the season. It's been quite an interesting off-season, hasn't it?
Yeah. Lots of things have gone. A lot of things have come in as well to replace them. So, take an example. Jersey 53 is no longer our make our jersey.
We're Warrior now, isn't it?
Warriors now make our jersey. Sin bin sponsors, like you said. JFF Security, if you look at any aspect of this place, JFF Security will have got their name in there. And I'm not saying it as a bad thing, I'm saying it as a good thing.
But it's a very good thing.
Very good for him.
Scott is a true professional when it comes to his line of work.
Take our hats off to Scott, because he's done a very good job during the off-season, making sure that his company gets the right recognition it deserves.
So one thing we can positively say is the match night security levels. There's absolutely levels to it. You will never ever feel unsafe coming to the rink, and that's a good segue for me to turn around and say, if you are interested in coming down to any of our games, or if you want to get a ticket for tonight's stream, we are going live in about 10 minutes time. Down the link below just under the video, there is a link to today's game. Go and get your streaming tickets. go to the main website, get yourself some tickets for the upcoming season. We'd love to see you come down here. Let's pack the Sapphire out.
Yeah. How can I put that wrong? Okay, mate. No, so yeah, we need to pack the Sapphire. Obviously, there was points last season as well where we packed it out against these lot. What was it?
3 sellouts last season.
Was it the Halloween? Was it
2? We sold out. We sold out 3 times last season.
Yeah.
2 of those were against MK.
Yeah. Well, the Halloween one, I believe, was the first one.
Yep.
As far as I know, I remember it was a huge night because we were all rushing around beforehand, thinking there are going to be so many people here. We need to get ready.
Yeah.
And obviously, we came back and won that game, as far as I remember.
Yes, yeah.
Shoefelt with the final goal. And I think that at that point, when people watched that and they kind of, even if it was new people coming to the Sapphire, they kind of learned that MK are a good side.
Yeah.
Seeing us beat MK then probably drove those other 2 sellouts that happened. So yeah, hopefully
I think that's what you've got to look at though. I think you look at MK's fixtures in terms of when they get their big numbers. With the first big numbers of the season will always come against Peterborough or Leeds, the 2 big teams for us.
Yeah.
And at that point, from then on, you get a rise, and at that point it will stay stagnant until another, like the Christmas fixture where we sell out, and then it just stays at that high level. Every season you'll start off with low numbers. That's just how it is, because people don't realise it's back and they don't know the severity of games and stuff like that. But once you get people through the door, you're hooked. The sport hooks you in. Once you're in, you're in. And
yeah, that's
what I love about the sport.
I think the biggest change within the club last season was obviously, we know Leisham is still with the Romford Raiders. Last year he was the head coach, but has decided this season to take a step back. Lewis Jones has also left the club by mutual consent, and he's now at Sheffield. Jason Buckman has stepped up from the Bucks to lead this team. It's a very big change, and I think it's going to be pivotal in the way that we play this season. I think there's going to be a lot more tenacity and a lot more grit than what we saw last season. A lot more hard hits. People won't be afraid to get stuck in if need be.
Seeing them train, especially on a Thursday. Thursday is their main training day. Comparing it to last season. So I don't want to say on here, and I'm definitely not saying it. The boys weren't being pushed as hard as they are now. So I'm not saying they were lazy. I'm just saying, compared to last season, seeing it, how much Jason is pushing them to be a good team, pushing them in training, especially that opening training session. It was incredible to see, because it's almost like you're seeing a completely different team.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
But I think that's also...
It'll be interesting to see what we do this season.
I think that's also because of Jason Buckman having that Romford. He played for Romford.
Yeah.
He's coached the Bucks. There's that sort of homegrown. You want to win for your team.
Yeah.
And it's no diss to Leisham because he doesn't have that attachment that Buckman has. He's going to want this Romford team to do well because he's played for them. It's going to be in his blood. He wants to win for them.
Yeah.
And I think that naturally is going to push players more because you've got someone with passion. And that's not to say that Leisham doesn't have passion, because he's a great player and he's a very passionate player. But when you've been with a club before and you've played with that badge on your shirt, and then you coach it, there's just that little bit more that makes you want to get the more out of it.
Yeah, well, we are just under just over 18 minutes. No, I can't do maths. We've got 3 minutes left of the pre-show. 20 minutes after that is when face-off will happen. We've got any parting comments? What do you think today's game's going to go, Harrison? What do you think the score's going to be?
Score prediction's a tough one. I think Lightning will do the job. I think they will get the win. I don't think it'll be as high as it was yesterday. I think it will be a bit closer. I think what will happen is you'll get to the third period, and I think that's when Lightning will probably take that extra lead. I think it'll be close for the first 2, but I reckon final score, 6-4.
6-4.
Yeah.
That's a good prediction. Brody?
I'm not doing a score prediction because I don't want to jinx it. That's my simple thing. I don't want to do a score prediction. I'll just simply. I don't care. I've got to keep the tradition up. I would simply say Adam Leisham will put one in the net. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Here's for hoping. Someone's got to put one in the net.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and myself, it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be very back and forth. Any time MK comes to the Sapphire, it's a very close game. I'm not going to say who's going to win, but my predicted scoreline, 5-4 either way. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think it can go either way.
We get another overtime. We've had enough of them last season. Should we get another one?
Yeah, we had too many overtimes last season. It's
My
nerve-wracking.
heart couldn't do it.
So,
I can't take it. And the one MK game that I wasn't here last season was the game that went to a shootout,
Yeah.
as Law would have it. But there you go. Anyway, I think that sums up today's pre-show, guys. If you want to get yourself a streaming ticket, head on down to the comments down below. There is a link there for you to buy your streaming ticket at a discounted price, because it's pre-season, of £12. It's £12. You can't really go wrong. You've got a night of hockey. It's worth a watch, especially Romford Raiders, pre-season, MK Lightning. Doesn't get much bigger than that. As your colleague said yesterday, there's no such thing as a pre-season friendly in ice hockey. It's just a game that there's no cup.
Yeah.
It's still going to be gritty, still going to be loads of tenacity, still going to be hard hitting. Get your tickets today. Anyways, guys, we will see you at 5 o'clock. Not 5:15. That's face off. Face off is 5:15. We will see you at 5 p.m. on the live stream. Get your tickets down below. I've been Josh Pavitt. This has been Brody Martin. Been Harrison Mills. We'll see you all.
Said it again.
Nearly said
Almost said it again. We will see you on the live stream. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.